Alright everybody, welcome back to the Black and White series. We are starting on the next set on the list, CCLP1. There's probably not much reason to do this in Black and White because it's just as easy, if not easier, than CC1. But it is an official set, and it was meant to replace the CC1 before it became available on Steam literally a year after, a year later. I really wonder how that timeline of events would have gone down if it came out sooner, because CCLP1 probably wouldn't exist otherwise. Who knows, though. But we're starting on Key Pyramid. This should be a lot easier to go through than CC1 was. So let's just get started. Collect all the required chips to open up a socket and exit. Use keys to open doors. Green keys can be used infinitely. It's going to be interesting to see the hints in MSCC here, because I don't know if... Oh, I gotta go back. I don't know if the CCLP1 staff ran this through MSCC at any point. I mean, they had to have to get the screenshots, right, for the wiki page. So I imagine someone check to see if the hints would fit in the hint box in this program. Alright, that is Key Pyramid done. Apparently my total score is not going to update properly. That's alright. We're not playing for the score. Skates and suction boots let you move freely on ice and forest floors. You can step off forest floors while moving. Alright, so this is Slip and Slide, a dedicated tutorial for just 2 of the 4 boots that Chip can collect. Very interesting approach to the lesson lineup, I have to say. To give 2 levels for 2 of the boots at a time. I guess CC1 did that with the buttons. Lesson 4 was blue and green buttons, and lesson 5 was brown and red buttons. So I guess that makes sense. Flippers let you swim, fire boots let you walk through fire. Watch out for moving objects. Alright, unlike the CC1 lessons, I'm going to try not to die in any of them. Because I remember the very first death in CC1 was on lesson 7. And it wasn't even a death, it was... I just used a pop-up wall in the wrong spot. Block Party. Blocks can be pushed by Chip to blow up bombs and build bridges. Love that it includes a little spot where you have to clear dirt to push the block. That's a good teaching tool. So this is probably not going to come as a surprise to many folks, but I think Block Party is probably my favorite of the lesson levels. Probably because Tyler made it, because Tyler's levels are awesome. Alright. And I like this part with the having to use the socket. I like the socket usage. That's really cool. Facades. Blue walls can be fake. Recessed walls appear as you cross them. Some walls are permanently invisible. Okay. Well, they're not blue for me, but I get what you mean there. Also interesting that the lesson levels in this set have much higher time limits than the ones in CC1 do. Good observation. Yellow bugs turn left at every opportunity, and Paramecia turn right at every opportunity. Dirt and gravel block monsters. Okay, that hint just barely fits. Those letters were small. And we actually have a lesson level that introduces Paramecia. CC1 did not have that, which is pretty cool. Shows that bugs can treat fire as walls. Good stuff. Under pressure. As long as a block monster or chip holds down a brown button, a corresponding bear trap is open. Could have pushed the block across the hint like this, but oh well. Alright. Switcheroo. Green buttons control toggle doors, blue buttons control tanks, red buttons activate clone machines. Okay, so we have a tutorial with 3 of the 4 buttons. Just let those go. Alright. Swept away. The thief tile steals your footgear. Teleporters transport you to another teleporter. Alright. I think this is our very first JB level in CCLP1. Kind of cool how the teleport sequence is basically the same as it was in Lesson 7. Alright. Done and done. Graduation. So technically speaking, I could probably pull off the twice step glitch, I think it's called, in this level, because that's what you need to get the bowl time of 320. Fun fact, I recently typed up a kind of a level guide for this level and posted it on the Chip Wiki page. That is a little side hustle project that I'm doing for CCLP1 specifically. Jeremy and I have been talking about going through the wiki and adding level guides, like how all of CC1 and CCLP2 have. And some CCLP3, basically what Andrew Bennett did before he moved on. But just less technical. Like, I don't have any move count things or nothing. It's just a general how to solve the level and stuff like that. And typing up graduation was good practice. I'm not a good writer by any means. But I like to think I do a decent enough job. This said, beware of the teeth. I'm not sure how the glitch works. I think you have to get a teeth monster to... I think you have to get both teeth monsters to follow you. And one of them blocks off the teleport and lets you skip it because it's not in the sequence anymore. I'm not sure. I'm not too expertised with that kind of stuff. But graduation's done. And we can now move on with our basketball career after college. I don't know. Psych, 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 bounce back and forth and collect chips and shoes. Alley-oop.
Bummer.
Oh my god. Well, there's our first death of the game. Stepping on the ball. I tried to dodge it. Wow, that's just as stupid as the lesson 7 one. So this is going to be a pretty common theme for CCLP1. It's no secret that CCLP1 just has a lot of item swapper levels. Because just by their very nature, those are like the simplest levels to understand, to comprehend, I guess. Sometimes things are hidden under blocks. Like chips, for instance. And that's kind of why I make as many item swappers as I do. I think a lot of my level design in particular is heavily fixated on some kind of item swapper. Okay. This puzzle's pretty cool. Okay, just gotta push the top block, and we will be good. Nice little inverse to lesson 4 here. That's kind of cool. Alright. What was that level called? Leave no stone unturned. That's right. Is done. Monster cages. Got our first introduction to walkers. Gliders are the only creatures that can survive in water. Yeah, not a whole lot to say. I am a little sorry about that. There's just not much to really say about CCLP1, really. It's a good set. Definitely an improvement over CC1 for sure. Oh yeah, you have to wait for those guys to follow the chip path. Alright, that level's done. Good stuff. Alright, wedges. Yeah, I'm hoping I make up for my crude commentary that the CC1 Let's Play on my old channel provided. Not my happiest moment in life when I made that Let's Play. And you know, I think that's one of the most fascinating things about life itself is just you're able to look back on those cringy moments of your past and know they were cringe, or you know, you just weren't your best, and you just kind of reevaluate how you are as a person and everything. All right, Twister. Hey, I just watched the sequel, or not the sequel, but the Twisters movie not too long ago, actually. Twister is my favorite film of all time. With what's her name, Helen Hunt, Bill Paxton. Who was the dude that played Dusty? I forget his name. Oh, I should know it. I should know it. I just don't know it. But yeah, I love Twister. Super fun movie. I watched Twisters the other night for the first time, and I will admit I got a little emotional. It triggered a little bit of a memory for me. But I still think the original is better. I think Twisters did a good job at keeping it its own thing, but very clearly referencing the source material. Just putting a different spin on it, for lack of a better pun. Good movie. I was a little disappointed by the ending. I won't spoil it if you haven't seen it, but the ending kind of disappointed me a little bit. Also, fun fact, I used this wall pattern for a level called Spin Dizzy. I don't think I've played it in Joshi yet, but I made it just to see if I could make something out of this wall template, because I think when JB was making walls of CCLP1, he mentioned somewhere that Twister was like the weakest level, or the level he made out of this wall template was like one of his weakest ones. So I figured I'd try to do it, see if it was really a bad template or what. It's not the best template, but I think I made something decent out of it. It's just a force floor heavy level. I mean, it kind of has to be with all the empty corridors and stuff. Okay, tetragons. We have a kind of an introduction to random force floors, but not really. Okay, we're rolling here. I guess it kind of chooses if you go down or to the next room immediately. And we're kind of getting these dodging ones done. Well, this one doesn't really have dodging. It's just a general pattern. So what is my goal for this video, or these videos? Because CC1, I established 25 levels of video. I think that proved to be a little too much, because almost every video in the series was over an hour long. I think I had an over hour and a half minute video. I kind of don't want to do that again. But, I mean, we're on level 16, and I'm only 20 minutes in, just about. Alright, Tetragons is done. Tiny. Okay. First untimed level of CCLP1. And it's a very easy one. Like, super easy. That took like 10 seconds. Blobs move randomly at half of chip speed. Sorry, one of my nostrils is like randomly plugging up a little bit. I don't care for it. Okay, I got lucky there. That blob should have killed me, but it didn't. You know what? I will probably do 25 levels of video for this series as well. CCLP1. Wow, how am I getting this lucky? Holy crap. Is Joshy the Blob Whisperer? Because of that epic block dance moment from Joshy?
Bummer.
Nope, he's not. Of course not. As soon as I think I am, I'm not. I will probably do 25 levels of video for this series as well. CCLP1 does not have that many super long, crazy levels like CC1 did. But I think this will be the only other set that will have such be the case. Like when I do CCLP2, well, we'll see when we get there. But CCLP2 will most definitely not have 25 of video. CCLP3 definitely won't. Not even close. Maybe for like the first 2 or 3 videos it will. But I think once I hit the halfway point of CCLP3, yeah, no shot. I don't have the brain power to handle those kinds of levels, that many levels in a row. Feel the static. Okay, well, there is some story portion behind this level. Find the red key, green button, yellow key, fire boots, blue key, and exit. Okay, well, I have the red key. Okay, I can't go that way. There is some story portion to this set. I'm not going to allude to it much. Mainly because this is the only other set besides CCLP3 that does have story elements to it. And I think that's sad. I really wanted to do a CCLP4 story. But like I said earlier, my writing abilities just aren't the best. I was wondering if that was a block or not. Okay, find a green button, it says. I found the green button. Oh, I can go here now. Alright, fire boots. And that is the blue key. I forget where it is. I do know we had a good story idea for CCLP4. Like it was cool in concept. Okay, I see. Do I lose the fire boots? I guess I lose them. Kind of cool there's extra chips. Kind of wish there wasn't though. But yeah, we had this cool idea for CCLP4, a story for it. But it got convoluted and just a little too difficult to follow along. But we're not playing CCLP4 right now, so there's no sense of talking about it. Chip Suey is a pretty cool level. I think some regard this as the nuts and bolts of CCLP1. Well, that's unfortunate. If we don't have to go back. I guess we can keep going. We just have a walker to deal with. Okay, we have this one. We have this one. And this one. Okay. Pretty simple stuff so far. Alright, Chip Suey is done. I don't really like that ending, to be honest, because I think some players could probably mistakenly think the button right here connects to this. In fact, I want to say when I very first played CCLP1, way back when it was new, I think I fell for that. But I don't remember. That was a long time ago, though. Because CCLP1's been out for, what, 12 years or something? Alright, generic ice level. May the force be with you. This level has a pretty special place in my heart. It's one of the only levels where I, yours truly, got the bolt on for the first time. Because I think JB reported like a 174 or something, and I just randomly got 175 one day, and I thought, there's no way I beat JB. JB's like the king of optimizing in some regards. And I just randomly beat him by a second. It just didn't feel real to me that happened. Alright, repair the maze. Use these 5 keys to remove the 3 walls that make this maze impossible. Alright. I think this is the part of the set where I think this is the point of the set where it starts to get fun. I think the first... Honestly, I think the first 20 levels are kind of a slog to go through. No offense to anyone who made levels and has gotten them in the first 20. I think Chip Suey is where it starts to get really fun. But I totally get why the levels were included in the way they were. And this concept is always fun, trying to find the locks that make the maze impossible and open them up. And it even tells you, you can use the other two to, like for shortcuts and stuff, which I think is a really nice touch. In fact, I'm just going to use it right there because I didn't mean to. There we go. Got all those in one fell swoop. Alright, just go this way. And we can move on. Alright, repair the maze is done. Fully repaired and ready to go. Into circles. Whoa, buddy. This makes me think this level was like the nice day level, because it's just an open dodging level. You have to collect a couple of chips. There's balls and walkers. A little bit chaotic, but nothing unreasonable. Alright, chips checkers. There are 25 chips here, but you only need 20. Okay, a nice little, much needed scaled down take on Double Maze. Actually, I'm not even sure you can really compare this to Double Maze. I mean, obviously it looks like it, but it's so much easier and so much more forgiving. That's like I almost don't want to even say it's even related to Double Maze. We can just do this and do this. There we go. Alright, mind lock. Okay, so we got two reds. Alright, yeah, this is going to be interesting. These key levels are going to be really fascinating to go through. Probably that. Open that. Open that. Okay, can I get both of them? I think so. Alright. And mind lock is done. So that's the first 25 levels of CCLP1. I mean, you get through them that quick, man. Just barely over half an hour. Alright, well, I guess that's it for me today. These videos are going to be really short. I can only imagine they're going to be really short to go through. But only 2 deaths so far. As in terms of how many deaths I expect to have at the end of this, honestly, not that many. I'm just going to lowball it, and I'm going to say 40. I'm going to die 40 times. Because the thing about CCLP1 is, a lot of the levels don't really present opportunities of failure. This is usually regarded as a good level design choice. Like, eliminate as many opportunities of failure as you can, if you can. It just depends on the level you make. But CCLP1 doesn't really present that many opportunities of failure, and that's kind of a double-edged sword if you think about it, because you just end up almost one-shotting everything in some ways. But maybe that's just me. Well, maybe I'll eat those words towards the end of the set. Who knows? Because there are some fairly tricky levels in CCLP1. We just won't see them till like the last 15 levels or so, which won't be for a while. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed a little shorter of a Joshi video today. I kind of knew it was going to be, just because of the nature of the set. But we'll take shorter Joshi videos when we can, for sure. And if you stuck around, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening in. I hope you all have a good rest of your day. And we will see you next time for part 2, or Trifigular Square, or Trafalgar Square. I still can't pronounce things right. You're going to have to deal with that.